Have you been thinking about buying rental property but just not sure where to start? If so, stick around. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly how you can buy your first rental property as an absolute real estate rookie. Hey, my name is Dustin Boudreaux, and I currently own over 100 rental properties. And just like you, once upon a time, a few years ago, I owned 0 rental properties and was completely new to this, overwhelmed, and didn't know what I didn't know. And the purpose of this video is to share some steps that I started to learn and build this framework that helped me not only buy properties faster, but also have the confidence to move in knowing what each step was to make sure that these deals can not only close, but they were great investments after I had purchased them. As you're thinking about starting your real estate investing career, it can be very challenging and overwhelming to know where to start, what strategy to pick, what you should focus on buying, what markets, all of those things. And so let's take a deep dive into some of the steps that I would recommend or what I would follow if I was just getting started today that would have saved me a lot of mistakes, a lot of time, and got me to what I really wanted, my core buying strategy. And so first things first is understanding what market are you going to buy in. Will this be in your backyard, aka where you live, or in close proximity? Usually if you have the opportunity, that's probably the best because you can learn, go visit your properties, walk and tour a lot of properties. I understand in some markets that's just not the case or not available because it's so expensive and you can't cash flow, but figure out what market you want to be in. And then once you do that, figure out what assets you want to buy. I say this often, one of the great things about real estate investing is that there's so many asset classes you can buy. But each one of those asset classes has their pluses and minuses, their own languages, and what defines success. And so what I would recommend is pick one lane, start there so you can understand it, get some properties under your belt and really master it. You don't have to stay there forever, but once you figure this out, you can move on if you should choose to do so. What I would recommend is start with small multifamily and or single family homes. They're pretty easy to get financing on. They're easy to understand, to walk and wrap your mind around it, especially when you're getting started. So first we started with pick the market that you want to be in, understand what asset class you're going to buy, aka single family homes and small multifamily homes. Next, what I would recommend is getting pre-approved with the bank before you ever make any offers on deals. That way, when you find them, you can move very quickly and make sure that you can buy them. So the reason I recommend doing this ahead of time, whenever you work with banks, it takes a little bit of time to get pre-approved. The bank will need things from you like last several years of tax returns, a personal financial statement, and a few other things in order to pre-approve you and get you moving in the right direction to be able to buy properties. And so usually I've seen this for myself take about 2 weeks to do, especially if you're new to the bank. And so you want to give yourself enough time to get through that process. And once they're done, they can start to tell you what you're pre-approved for, how much money you can borrow with the bank, and then you're off to the races. And so this will give you the confidence once you have that approval from the bank, you can start to analyze a bunch of deals and make offers on properties. What I would recommend is look at as many deals as you can each day, what comes on the market, and you'll start to notice some patterns, some different price points, and what cash flow looks like, and really your financial goals on what you're trying to accomplish from a profitability standpoint. One of the most important things to understand is how to run numbers, or underwrite is a popular term in real estate, how to underwrite a deal and see if it's cash flows and it meets all the things that you need. If you're not familiar with how to run numbers on a property, that too can feel overwhelming at times, but I'll drop a link in the description to my real estate calculator. I've also included a video on exactly how to use it, where to pull some of those numbers from, and once you get familiar with it, you can start running numbers on properties in minutes and know if it's a good deal or not for you. So again, link in the description for that. And so once you find the properties that work for you, you want to submit offers on these properties, and then eventually, one will get accepted. And then once that happens, what you want to do is set time to go inspect the property, whether that's you on your own or you hire an inspector to go out and look at the property and see what the roof looks like, the HVAC, the plumbing, all the important parts of the property. If you are just getting started and don't really have any experience in this, I highly recommend to hire an inspector that can have your vested interest to find anything that may be something you're not seeing and really best protect yourself before you ever buy the property. And if something does come up where there's an issue, you may be able to negotiate with the seller on a purchase price reduction, or have them fix some of those things and confirm that before you get to the closing table. This is really where a lot of the fun and technical things start. So you get an accepted offer on a property, you will submit that to the bank that you got the pre-approval with. They will start all of the things to put in motion for you to buy this property. They'll start to look at the numbers, make sure everything works. They'll engage a title company, which will check the title, make sure it's clear and you are buying a property that won't have any issues. They will also engage an appraiser to go out and appraise the property, make sure it's valued where it needs to be to protect both the bank's interest and your interest for the money that they're going to loan you. And if all of those things happen and check out as they should, then the bank will let you know to schedule a closing with the title company. You will get to the closing table, and this is the moment that you've been working up for probably for the better part of a month or so, depending on how long it took you to find deals and offer on them. And when you sign the paperwork, that's where the real fun starts. So a couple options could be here. If the tenant's already in the property, you'll continue to manage the property as need be. Or if there's no tenant and you have to rehab the property, that's where you'll start to collect bids, get with contractors, start buying materials, and get the thing renovated so you can get it rented out. And then looking one step further, this is also a point in time that you want to figure out before you get to the closing table, is how you plan to manage this property. Do you plan to manage it by yourself and do all of the things and manage the day-to-day? Or do you plan to hire a professional property management company? One of the things I highly recommend, especially if you work a day job, is to run your numbers on the calculator I was referring to earlier with a property management fee. That way you can hire somebody right away. They can handle the day-to-day operations. You can continue working your career and earning more money to be able to buy more real estate, and you don't have to worry about tenants and toilets and all these things at late night calls, and it'll make your life a lot easier and more enjoyable as you're starting your career. And so those, in a nutshell, are the steps that are needed to take to buy your first property. So in conclusion, we figured out the market that we want to buy in. We figured out the asset class. We got pre-approved with the bank. That way we can move fast. We analyzed a ton of properties until we found a good deal. We made lots of offers on deals, got one of those accepted. We scheduled the inspection to go see if anything's wrong with the property or make sure it's good to go. We got the bank involved to get all of the paperwork needed to loan us the money. They engaged the title company, made sure the title was clear. Title company got everybody involved, and then we got to the closing table, signed all needed paperwork, and then we got a property manager involved to help with tenant management and or rehab the property, then get a property manager involved. And now you can be excited because every first of the month, rent is due, and all of that hard work you put in the previous several weeks or months will start to pay off, and you can start to see all of these benefits from real estate investing, and specifically buy and hold rental property. So hopefully you found this was valuable. If you did, appreciate a like on the video and subscribing to the channel. Each and every week I publish a video on how to get started as a real estate investor buying rental property, especially if you have a full-time career or job. And so be sure to tune in to next week. And before you run, make sure to check out the video on this page, and I'll catch you on the next one. This video is a wrap. Bye for now.